freedom is finally here for a Briton held hostage in Lebanon. And there is continuing hope that freedom may be near for one of 6 Americans held captive. This is the CBS Evening News. Dan Rather reporting. Good evening. The first Western hostage to be released from Lebanon in nearly a year is home. British journalist John McCarthy arrived tonight some 13 hours after word came that his terrorist kidnappers had set him free in Beirut. But the hoped-for release of other hostages, including at least one American, has not yet happened. McCarthy is now 34 years old. He was kidnapped at gunpoint in April of 1986 en route to the Beirut airport, heading home after an assignment. Tonight, more than 5 years later, he completed that journey. After being released in Beirut today, McCarthy was turned over to the British ambassador in the Syrian capital of Damascus. CBS News correspondent Alan Pizzi picks up the story from that ancient capital.
Looking fitter than any previously released hostage, British journalist John McCarthy emerged back into the real world today, and he brought good news about hostages still held.
I'm happy to be able to tell the families of the American hostages, Terry Anderson and Tom Sutherland, and of my fellow Briton Terry Waite, that when I left them 2 days ago, they were in good health and in good spirits.
Choosing his words carefully, McCarthy said the Westerners still in captivity were living under tolerable conditions that had improved of late. When he spoke of Anderson and Waite and the others he left behind, McCarthy gave a hint of the pain and anguish of captivity.
Whatever strength I've had to endure the past 5 years has really come from those men.
McCarthy came out as a messenger for his captors, the shadowy Islamic Jihad movement, with demands to be delivered personally to UN Secretary General Perez de Cuellar.
I understand that the letter seeks the Secretary General's help in arranging a release of all prisoners and hostages being held in Lebanon and for those held in Israel.
McCarthy said Islamic Jihad wanted a full exchange of Western hostages for civilian and military prisoners held in Israel. More than 300 Shiite Muslims and Palestinians are in this prison, Al-Qiyam. Israel hasn't been contacted directly, but insists they must be swapped for its soldiers and airmen held in Lebanon, which is one reason why there is only guarded optimism about the chances of an American hostage coming out soon. John McCarthy knows too well what that means to the men still chained.
There are times when it seemed it would never end. You know, one kept hearing news and thought maybe now, and it would go away. And I think for all of this was a constant strain, a constant pressure on us. And we had to work very hard between us to keep our spirits up, to keep ourselves happy and determined to carry on.
When he stood with his father and brother and waved goodbye, John McCarthy knew he had won against terrible odds. He said he wanted to make up for all he had lost, but his thoughts were undoubtedly also with Terry Anderson and the others still held. Rumors still abound that an American will be released soon, but the feeling here is that McCarthy was a kind of test case, that the kidnappers will wait to see how the West, the U.S. and Britain in particular, react to his release. Alan Pizzi, CBS News, Damascus.
Hours after John McCarthy was freed, an underground group claimed it had kidnapped a Frenchman in Lebanon today, and the group threatened to kill him if any other Western hostage is let go. So far, the claim has not been confirmed. President Bush is said to be monitoring developments from his vacation headquarters in Maine. CBS News White House correspondent Susan Spencer is with the president in Kennebunkport. Susan, good evening.